Hey everyone, welcome back to That's Geeky AF with myself AF. I know it's been eons since I've posted a brand new video or a brand new primer or a brand new backstory video. A lot of things were happening. I managed to upload some content for One Piece during Comic-Con Cape Town. But yeah, we are back and we are ready to be talking about comic books in movies. And today we are doing a clean, spoiler-free primer on this book, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And we are going to see how it lines up with the movie that is releasing next week. You might have heard of it, Supergirl, releasing next week, Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, this is going to be the primer of that movie for this comic book, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. If you haven't read the book, don't worry, this is why I'm here. This video is designed to get you fully clued up on who the major characters are, where they come from, who created them, the first appearances that they've made in their comic books, and now who is playing them in the movie. Without further ado, let's jump in, and we are going to go straight into the main characters of the book. And the first one, the person who the movie and the book is all about, Kara Zor-El, Supergirl, portrayed by Milly Alcock. She is not new to any sort of fandom now because she basically rose to fame a few years ago in House of the Dragon on HBO, spin-off of Game of Thrones, and she was absolutely phenomenal in that. She is now in the DCU. James Gunn absolutely loves her. Everybody loves her over there, and I see the vision. I read this book. This is arguably one of the greatest books ever written in DC Comics history. I think it's amazing. I think it's fantastic. I think it has the perfect blend of everything needed to make a really good comic book. And yeah, from somebody who's read this book a couple of times, I really do see the vision in casting somebody like Milly Alcock for Kara Zor-El, for Supergirl in the DCU. So the creators of the character is Otto Binder and Al Plastino. The first appearance of Supergirl was in Action Comics in 1959. I think it was number 252. Kara Zor-El isn't just Superman's cousin. In Women of Tomorrow, the comic book, she's practically a different species emotionally. She didn't grow up on a farm with loving parents. She grew up on a floating chunk of dead Krypton, surrounded by people who she loved, who eventually died around her, and she remembers all of those screams. She remembers the collapse of the country and then the loneliness. There's a line in the book, and it's in the movie trailer, so if you've seen the trailer a couple of times, you'd know which line I'm speaking about, and it was narrated that Krypton didn't die in a day. The gods weren't that kind.
Krypton didn't die in a day. The gods are not that kind.
That line, it's probably one of the best lines in the book, and I'm so glad that it made it to the movie verbatim. That line tells you everything about Kara's trauma. Clark Kent, or Superman, he lost the world that he never knew, whereas Kara watched her world, the world that she loved, the world that she grew up on, she watched it die piece by piece. So when she finally gets to Earth, she's not wide-eyed and hopeful like Clark is. She's angry, she's resentful, she's tired, and she's carrying so much trauma that she never asked for. This version of Kara is blunt, she's sarcastic, she's compassionate, but she's so guarded because of everything that's happened to her that she has to keep her guard up. And she's just not interested in being anybody else's symbol. That's not what she asked for. She's just trying to get by, trying to do what she needs to do. And I think that this is why this is the most faithful adaptation of Supergirl compared to ones that we've had on TV and in film before. She's always like seen as this like really good person, and I mean Supergirl is good, but she's not seen as this person that's gone through so much trauma. She has so much pent up inside her that she can't be that person that's always happy all the time. So yeah, we are getting a very faithful adaptation of Carter finally. Because Kryptonians lose their powers under Red Sun, so Red Suns take their powers away, Yellow Suns give them their powers. So Carter likes to go and party on Red Sun planets, where she can actually get drunk, she can feel what she wants to, she can get hurt, and she can just feel normal. She just wants to feel normal. James Gunn described this DCU version of Carter as pixie-ish but very attitudinal. Both he and Craig Gillespie, the director, call her an anti-hero. She's powerful, she's messy, she's hurting, and she's trying her very best. That's why the story hits so hard. The next character that we are going to spotlight is Ruthye Marye Knoll. She's being played by Eve Ridley. Creators are Tom King and Bilquis Everly. First appearance was in this book, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow #1. Ruthye is the narrator of the comic. She's a young girl from a small alien world who speaks in this poetic fantasy style voice. She's determined, she's stubborn, and way braver than somebody her age should be. In the movie, she recruits Supergirl to help complete the mission. That's basically the center point of this entire story. Everything starts and ends with Ruthye, and I think that's the best way that I can put this story without really going into spoilery bits. The next character, and we've seen this little guy before, he is Krypto the Superdog. He's a real dog, played by James Gunn's pet, Ozu the dog, if I'm not mistaken. He was in the Superman movie last year. The character was created by Otto Binder and Kurt Swan. First appearance in Adventure Comics number 210 back in 1955. Krypto is exactly what he sounds like, the loyal Kryptonian superdog. In this story, he's basically Carter's emotional support animal and one of the most wholesome presences in the entire book. And as you guys saw in last year's Superman, he is such a treat, he's such a pleasant character, and he's confirmed for this movie and will absolutely steal scenes once again. The next character, and he's the main villain of the story, he's Krem of the Yellow Hills, portrayed by Matthias Schoenaerts. He was created by Tom King and Bilquis Everly in this book, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, as well. First appearance in the first issue of the series. Krem is one of those villains who feel uncomfortably real. He's not a cosmic warlord or superpowered monster. He's a human trafficker, a mercenary, and the leader of these really evil group of people, sort of like space pirates. They are called the Brigands. He thrives in lawless corners of the galaxy when nobody is coming to save you. What makes Krem scary isn't his power, it's his belief system. He comes from a culture where violence is normal. Everything is normalized like that. Cruelty is expected and empathy is weakness. So he's the kind of villain who doesn't think he's a villain because he believes that everything he's doing is okay and everything is fine. During this story in Women of Tomorrow, he forces Carter to confront her anger, her trauma, and her sense of justice, and the lines that she refuses to cross. Krem isn't a cartoon bad guy. He's a reminder that the universe is full of people who feel that it's okay to hurt others just because they can, and there won't be any consequences towards it. Okay, and then we move on to the Brigands. I mentioned that Krem is the leader of the Brigands. We don't have many other cast members announced for the movie within the group of the Brigands. Another actor is Dermot Murtaugh. He's going to be playing Drom Baxton. And then there will be additional actors because the Brigands are quite a big group of people. So additional actors will be sort of filling out those spaces during the course of the movie. They were also created by Tom King and Bilquis Everly in this book. They are a group of spacefaring criminals who show up throughout the book. They help build the tone of the story. They are dangerous, they are unpredictable, and very much not the clean, shiny sci-fi you see in Superman stories. So yeah, expect to see very bad things from them in this movie. The next few characters are going to be the supporting characters, ones that wouldn't really spotlight that much in the book, but they had some sort of supporting roles. The first one is Zor-El, portrayed by David Krumholtz, created by Otto Binder and Al Plastino as well. First appearance in Action Comics number 252 in 1959. Zor-El is Carter's father. He was a scientist from the Kryptonian city of Argo. In the book, there's a haunting storytelling sequence about Carter's parents during the final days of Krypton. It's not really a flashback. It doesn't really feel like a flashback. It feels more like a myth being retold. You feel the dread, you feel the desperation, and you sort of see the slow death of a world, and you basically understand why Carter is the way that she is. All the trauma that she's kept inside. I mean, it makes so much sense after reading these few pages. It's one of the most emotional parts of the comic, and I think that the art and the writing just like blended so well in this. The next character is Eluda Zor-El, portrayed by Emily Beecham. She was also created by Otto Binder and Al Plastino. Her first appearance was in Action Comics number 252 in 1959 as well. Eluda is Carter's mother. She's compassionate, she's strong. She was the grounding presence in Carter's early life. The book's retelling of Krypton's final days show her as a mother trying to stay brave in the position that she was, and that's a bit heartbreaking, while the world literally collapses around her. The next character is Elias Knoll, portrayed by Ferdinand Kingsley, created by Tom King and Bilquis Everly in this book, Woman of Tomorrow. Elias is Ruthie's father, the man whose presence the entire story revolves around. It sets this entire story in motion. Then the next one is Comet the Superhorse, created by Otto Binder and Jim Mooney, back in Adventure Comics number 293 in 1962. Comet doesn't appear in the movie. As far as we know, I didn't see any reports about a horse being included in the movie, and James Gunn didn't really say anything. So I haven't seen anything to say that he's going to be in the movie, but he is in the book, and he plays quite a substantial role in the back end of the book. He has a brief but memorable inclusion in the end, if I can put it that way. In the book, Comet is a part of a quiet, emotional moment that reminds you that Carter isn't just a warrior. She's someone who has loved, she's lost, and she's carried connections across galaxies. He represents the mythic and magical side of Carter's history, and his appearance adds a layer of warmth and nostalgia and to an otherwise brutal story. He's a symbol of life that Carter could have had, one filled with wonder instead of the trauma that she went through. Okay, so this isn't a character, but it's more about an arc, and in my opinion, it's my favorite arc in the book, and it's I think the best arc in the book, in my opinion. It's one of the coolest, most visually intense, emotionally loaded parts of the book, and that's called the Green Sun arc. I'm not going to go into spoilers at all for this, because I think that this needs to be experienced for the very first time. If you guys watch the movie, I really, really hope that this gets included in the movie, because I think it would be visually insane to see it being adapted, especially in IMAX as well. Not going into spoilers for this, but there's a moment in the story where Carter ends up under a green sun, and the rules of Kryptonian biology flip in a way that's both terrifying and beautiful. It's one of those sequences where the art and the writing and Carter's emotional state all collide into something spectacular, and I think it's very unforgettable. I think it's really good. Bilquis Everly and Tom King, they tugged him so well in this arc, and whatever they did aligned so well and it blended so well, and like we ended up getting such an amazing end product for it. The Green Sun arc it's trippy, it's mythic, it's brutal, and it brings one of the most Carter moments in the entire book. It shows you who Carter is, what she's made of, and ultimately what makes Supergirl the amazing hero that she is. And it's also the kind of scene that if the movie adapts it, even if it's like 20% or 30% of what's in this arc, people are going to walk out to the theater talking about it, about how amazing that was done. It's Carter at her most vulnerable and most powerful at the same time. And now we are going to move on to characters in the movie who aren't in the book. And the first one should not need any introduction. He's Superman, Kal-El, Clark Kent, portrayed by David Corenswet. He had his own movie last year, so I'm not really going to go into anything about Superman. If you really want to know some more about him, you can go check up over here. I think that you'll be able to click on that video that I did as my Superman primer last year. But yeah, he's not a character in the book. He's just mentioned a couple of times. He is confirmed for the movie. And we've seen in the trailer, like, there's a couple of scenes with him giving Carter a new suit and just like having some sort of contribution in that way. So I don't know if he's going to be in the movie further than that. But I think everybody would be okay with him, that being his only scene, because there's so much groundwork to lay within the Woman of Tomorrow story that I think, like, Superman taking up more than a scene like that would probably bloat the story a bit much. The next one is Lobo, portrayed by Jason Momoa. But wait, wasn't Jason Momoa in the DCU before? No, he was not. He was in the DCEU, he was Aquaman, and the DCEU is now dead. He is now in the DCU as Lobo, the character that he's always wanted to play, the character that everybody else thought that he should be playing from the beginning. He personifies Lobo. He loves the character so much, and I think it was a no-brainer for James Gunn to just give him the ball and let him run with it. He was created by Roger Slifer and Keith Giffen in Omega Men #3 in 1983. He's an alien mercenary and bounty hunter. He's violent, he's chaotic, he's unpredictable, and most importantly, he is hilarious. I mean, the dude cracks a joke every single time he gets. He's not in the book though, so that's interesting. But this is what I think could happen. The DCU, they're clearly remixing things with adapting source material. He could be a replacement for one of the dangerous figures Carter encounters. He could be a member of the Brigands. You could be aligning with Krem, and then you could double cross him at a later stage. You could be aligning with Carter and double crossing her at a later stage. Or quite simply, he could just be a world building tool for the DCU. James Gunn wants to be able to set up all of these characters and just using them in other movies or TV shows. It's a bit of a no-brainer, and it's a space pirate movie, so having Lobo in there isn't very much out of left field. He fits right into this world. Lobo, he's the wild card, he's the chaos factor, and quite simply, if you ask any DC comic book fan, he's the oh my god, not him again character. How is this movie going to differ from the book? So the comic book is a tight character-driven Western in-space story. The movie seems to be keeping Carter's emotional arc, keeping Ruthye, Krypto, and Krem, and keeping the harsh tone that makes the book so phenomenal. But adding Superman and Lobo and a couple of other people in it, it's interesting. I'm very curious to see how all of these extra ingredients is going to fit in to a story that has like so much to tell. Like, I'm very, very interested in that. But yeah, at the end of it all, the comic book has so much heart and it's scaled up, and I mean, we know that the DCU, they want to sort of explode and set up all these stories in different corners of the universe, and I think that's exactly what James Gunn is doing. He's doing this now. It's a space story. We have Lanterns coming up in a couple of months as well. That's another Earth/space story. So he's setting up all of these anchors in different corners of the universe, of the DC universe, so that in the future there's not a lot of groundwork to be laid, because you would have seen so many of these landscapes already. And yeah, that is the end of the Supergirl primer. This video should be dropping on Wednesday, so that's about a week out from Supergirl dropping. If you live here in South Africa, head to New Metro or Ster-Kinekor. The ticket sales for the movie are open. This book is phenomenal. It is fantastic. If you do still want to go go ahead and pick up a copy of it. I really advise it. The book is really good, and yeah, maybe watch the movie first and then read the book afterwards, and then you can sort of see the differences. But yeah, I'm excited for this. I'm excited for Milly Alcock in the leading role. She's going to be phenomenal. Lobo's going to be phenomenal. This is probably my most anticipated movie of 2026. I know that we have Brand New Day, we have The Odyssey, there's Dune, there's Avengers Doomsday, but Supergirl, I love this book so much. So I'm really amped, and I'm really excited for this movie to come out. But before you head out, if you are hyped for Supergirl, do me a favor. Hit that like button so that YouTube knows that this is the kind of DCU content people want. Drop a comment below. Which character are you most excited to see? Is it Carter? Is it Krem? Is it Lobo? Is it Ruthye? If you are new here, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, because we are going to go deep into the DCU over the next couple of months. We have Clayface coming out later in the year. That's going to be insane. The first DC horror movie, if I'm not mistaken. We're going to be doing breakdowns, character primers, lore explainers, and full coverage of every new update James Gunn ends up dropping in film. And if you want even more geeky goodness, follow me on Instagram at @That'sGeekyAF. So yeah, that's all for me. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm AF. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay geeky AF. Peace.